Future Jordan here. I found out that the whole time I was filming, you could hear the stupid heater in the background. So I hope it's not going to be too annoying for you guys. Next time I will make sure not to do that. Hey, what's up guys? So, story time. On Saturday, my dad and I were trying to set up our TV, right? And to do that, we had to drill some holes in the wall to, screw in the frames. Well, one time when I drilled a hole, I pulled out the drill and water started pouring out. So what that meant was we'd probably drilled through a water pipe, that's just really bad. So we panically turned off all of the water in our house, and so for the foreseeable future, we wouldn't have any running water. I was tasked with going out and seeing if I could find any drinking water at any of the local stores. And I finally found a bunch at the Stop and Shop in Lexington, which is really surprising because Stop and Shop suck. I was waiting in line with 10 full gallons of water and like a gallon of milk, and all the people behind me were just giving me judgmental looks. On the flip side, I got so many people reached out and said like, our houses are open, you can come use our showers if you need to, we can give you water if you need, and it restored my faith in humanity. Anyway, the situation is now that we are back up. It turned out to not be a pipe, it was just a water pump for one specific sink. And so we have running water now. The plumber came and fixed it yesterday morning. Thank you all to any who reached out to offer any help. I appreciate it so much. So anyway, today's video is going to be based around a gift that my sister got me for my last birthday. And shoot, I don't have it with me. Get it 1 second. Alright, I'm back. So I don't know if it's backwards for you guys. It's backwards for me, but I think my camera is special and it actually reverses it back around. But for all of you listening as a podcast, this gift is a hand-drawn photo of McDonald's French fries with the words childhood memories underneath it. And on each of these French fries is a different memory that my sister and I had. I thought that I would kind of frame today's video around this gift and talk about some of the memories that are on it, as well as maybe discuss a few memories that aren't necessarily on that gift. Disclaimer, although the following stories may say otherwise, I'm not actually a terrible brother. First story. So when I was around 10, and that would make my sister about 6 or 7, I tried to put a bagel in the toaster. And in doing so, I burned myself because my sister had just used it to make her bagel. So let me just tell you, I hate being burned. Like, that type of pain is just, I can't deal with it. So after being burned by my toaster, I naturally blamed it on Angelina, having used it directly beforehand. And so I said, Angelina, if you don't open the toaster after using it and letting it cool off, it's gonna blow up. And I kid you not, for the next year, she would always leave the toaster open after using it, which is great for me because that meant that the inside cooled off a lot faster, and so I did not get burned. So next story, it actually happened around the same time. I was about 10, my sister was about 7, and my parents are trying to teach me how to be more responsible, which I applaud because that is a very good thing. But I was just so lazy at the time. And so one time they had to leave or something, and they needed me to continue doing the laundry because we always have like 18 loads of laundry and we can't just let it sit in the machine, right? And so I didn't know how to do it, so they taught me step by step. You open the washing machine, you put in a Tide Pod, you don't eat the Tide Pod, you put your clothes in, and then you close it and you turn the dial and then you click start. And I'm like, okay, I got it. And so the minute they left, I said, you do it, Angelina. Again, I clarify, I was going through a lazy phase. I would not do this today, I think. But of course, Angelina had no idea how to do this either. And so I taught her. You open the washing machine, you put the clothes in, you close the washing machine, you turn the dial, and you click start. Yeah, and so that's how we ended up not washing our clothes with soap for the next 2 weeks. Sorry if I keep like changing the camera angle on you guys like every single frame. I'm like trying to find the perfect fit. Next So my sister and I had this weird game we would play where we would try to come up with our own language, and then we'd quiz each other by like giving each other a list of words, but repeating certain words so that we would try to trip each other up. And so my sister created Silly Spanish, which was just a collection of random sounds that she made. Now me, an intellectual, decided to use regular Spanish, and she didn't know this at the time because I was in like 5th grade and she wasn't. She had not taken Spanish yet. So for like 2 years, she actually thought I had invented my own language because she would never be able to trip me up. She'd be like, "What's duck?" And I'd be like, "Pato." I'll never forget that first Spanish class. She came back and was like, "You're just using Spanish." And I was like, "Oops." All right, 4th story. A lot of times we would play squirt gun sandcastles at the beach, in which we would each build like a big city full of like 500 sandcastles, and then we would try to spray them down with squirt guns. Now, these battles were very interesting because I would aim my squirt gun at her castle, and of course she would aim her squirt gun directly at my face. But both of us were just really bad at aiming. So what would happen is she would hit all my castles, and I would hit her directly in the face. It's a win-win situation, really. Speaking of shooting each other with squirt guns, my sister and I also shot at each other with Nerf guns. My parents don't usually like having guns at the house, and so it was a big surprise when one Christmas we received a ton of Nerf guns. And so my sister and I had a blast with them for about like 2 seconds each time, because what would happen is she would shoot at me, right, and I'd be shooting back at her, and I was a very good fair player. I would always take like the big, 32 bullet chamber, high powered gun, and I would so graciously give her the smallest pistol there was. And again, both of us were pretty bad at aiming, and so she would always like miss me, and then no matter where I aimed on her, it would always seem to hit her in the face, right? Like I would aim at her like chest, and it would hit her, arc up and hit her face. I would aim at her toe, and it would somehow hit her directly in the face. And so one time, I thought of a great idea. I said, "Why don't you wear a sparring mask?" And so these sparring masks are basically these big, padded, uncomfortable things you put over your head that only have slots for your eyes and your nose and your ears. And so I thought, this is great. Now, if I hit her in the face, she won't just stop playing. And then the first time I shot at her, it hit her directly in the eye. So I'm just like thinking about how funny it must have been for my mom to see my sister just like lumbering down the stairs in a full sparring helmet. In conclusion, if you're an only child, you are living the life. Kidding. Duh. In all seriousness though, even though there's obviously going to be ups and downs in any siblingship, make sure you treasure that time you have with your sibling. And I know it sounds so cliche, but like the time won't last forever. I'm going off to college in 5 months or so, and it pains me to admit it, but I'm gonna miss her. I'm gonna miss her a lot. I'm gonna miss on road trips listening to her Spotify playlist and just singing along. I'm gonna miss showing her the random memes I find every morning. I'm gonna miss jumping over waves with her at the beach. And if there's one thing I wish I could do differently going back, it would be to spend more time with her. But it's not too late for you guys, because turns out you're actually stuck with your sibling for the next 3 weeks. So what better time to spend time with them than right now? So I recommend that as soon as this video is done, you go out and give your sibling a huge hug. If you're an only child, that's fine. Go ahead and give your parents a big hug, because why not, right? Let's spread some positivity today, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.